Hallo, herzlich willkommen hier auf der Boot 2025 auf der Nimbus T11 und ich sitze hier wieder mit Jonas. Wir haben, glaube ich, schon zweimal zusammengesessen. Du bist derjenige, den ich immer kurzfristig auch fragen kann. Am ganzen Tag machen wir irgendwie 1000 andere Sachen, haben viele Kunden, die auf den Stand kommen. Auch wieder ein sehr, sehr guter Tag, vor allem aber auch gestern, Mittwoch, also die ganzen Wochentage waren extrem gut besucht. Und dementsprechend wird das immer sehr kurzfristig entschieden und Jonas hat einfach extrem viel Erfahrung und wir sind auch privat befreundet. Das heißt, ich kann auch so ein bisschen aus seinem Leben, weiß ich, und dementsprechend kann man ganz gute Geschichten und er versteht mich jetzt auch, weil er spricht nämlich ganz gut Deutsch, aber nichtsdestotrotz machen wir das Ganze in Englisch, damit wir das Ganze ein bisschen flüssiger hinbekommen. So Jonas, thanks a lot for taking the time again.
My
It
pleasure.
has been a quite impressive week. I think in general the whole branch was a little bit nervous is the wrong wording, but I would say didn't know really what to expect from a boat show
Exactly.
in these times, also in Germany. And what I can say from my side, and I think this is copy-pasted to your side, it has been, in the retrospective to the last 3 years, the best boat show we have been here having. So there was boats sold on the show, and for example also 495s, but also other boats. But more important even, that's why we're doing it, was loads of good customers there. And for you, very important, not German customers only, because we are taking care mainly. So it was loads of international customers from all over. What would you say was the furthest traveling customers you had on the booth?
From now, I would say Asia. Hong Kong was one of them, but I have several customers from Turkey, Norway, Sweden, US came, especially to look at the 495 actually.
So just imagine somebody's traveling from the United States to look at a boat in Europe. This is quite impressive.
That is very good. And just looking out to the stand right now, it's good energy.
Very, very.
So
you brought, I think this was, or not I think, I know this corner here is also a launch from something different. So this T11 is a serial production boat, but it has, we added something in Traben-Trarbach with your support, with the support of Volvo Penta, which is had its launch more or less here on the boat show. It was already used so it's like was ready to be launched already in autumn.
Yep.
It was also on the T11. This boat was in Croatia, and you can see that here with the footage the Volvo Penta using on the stand. So it was in Croatia for free climbing over the ocean,
exactly.
which should have been is the teaser for how good this boat, how precise you can moor this boat, so you can drive even next to a 500-meter high cliff and you take somebody on board. So this is the message behind. And Volvo Penta even has a computer, like a virtual machine here, where you can even test this assisting docking.
Yeah.
Before I want to start with this, because this morning we also decided together with Volvo Penta, with like the team from Sweden, that this boat is going to Mallorca in the We Boat Club.
That's correct. Yeah.
And we'll be there. So everybody from the We Boat Club, all the members, this will be the new T11, the new Wilma 2 going to be lying in Calanova, and will be in the XL group in the availability for the season 2025. And all of you will then experience this, I would say, very unique and very modern way of boating. This boat can support you and your family and everybody who's on board. So describe a little bit about this system. No, first of all, I want, sorry, I'm jumping a little bit, because we found out this morning that we both have a quite bit history when it comes to Volvo Penta.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
I've been selling many Mercury engines the last 5-8 years, but in history, we are very Volvo Penta, but you start with your historical behind Volvo Penta and you. And your heart in this company.
For sure. Boating has always been a great passion for me. Even since I was a little boy. I lived on the islands on summertime. I spent all my waking hours out in the sea. My first job was really Volvo Penta. And I was adopted to the workshop there, and then took quite fast a step up to sales, technical sales, you can say, at Volvo Penta, where actually Nimbus became one of my customers. And then, after a couple of years, fantastic years at Volvo Penta in times of heavy crisis as well. This was back in '93. Nimbus adopted me actually and made me aftermarket manager for the company, and that's how I grew into the Nimbus company together with the founder Hans and Larsen. That really took me.
When was this? In '93?
November '93.
Okay.
So
at this time we were already 11 years, my parents were already 11 years Nimbus dealer.
Yeah, correct.
And also my father chosen Nimbus as a brand because Nimbus at this time was one of the only brands worldwide, as the father of the founders of Nimbus, Hans and Lars Wiklund, and the father of them was the president of Volvo Penta for
Correct.
a long time. So there was a very strong connection towards Volvo Penta, which exists until today.
Yeah,
even the company has, probably 100 times the size, and it's like a stock company, completely different company, but this connection is still there. And
absolutely.
due to this connection, Nimbus was one of the first brands in Scandinavia, in Europe, utilizing a diesel engine in a boat, in a cabin boat, which still could go above 20 knots.
Yes.
Which in these times was only petrol boats were fast boats, diesel boats were slow boats. So that was a huge step for Nimbus at this time. There was the Nimbus 26,
Nimbus 26,
followed by Nimbus 2600 and Nimbus 3000.
Yes, correct.
Boats I remember very well from my childhood.
That's a direct heritage to what we have today, the Nimbus 305 and the Nimbus 365. You can say that.
So this was all, and is still since then connected to Volvo Penta, but also Volvo Penta developed a lot, and they developed mainly their products in the direction where they have installations which make them unique. And this is not really in the shaft segment.
No.
It's in the DP, in the Aqua Drive segment, on which we are here now, which is nowadays the DPI Z Drive.
Correct.
Or mainly also in 3 different levels is the IPS.
Absolutely.
Where we, for example, have the IPS 600 on the 495. So for me, and this was the conclusion this morning, Volvo Penta now is closer to Botepolch again, as it ever was for the last 10 years, as we're having now directly with Volvo Penta in Sweden a cooperation on this We Boat Club in Mallorca to get the members a very special, unique possibility to test, to get feedback from this assisted docking, it's called, which you now hopefully explain to me a little bit more. And also we have this with quite some 495 sold, as everybody also chooses the assistant docking there. And we are also working with this in the handover, and has also made a long video about the assistant docking. I will just explain, please, the assistant docking, as it is very similar on the IPS and DPI.
I will for sure do that. Just let me first say I'm very thankful for Volvo Penta for what they actually chose us to be their launch boat with this assisted docking stern drive. No matter what you go assisted docking, if you're IPS or if you're stern drive, it works pretty much the same. It allows you to take very good control over the boat, even in tight situation, stressful situation, where the wind comes in, waves affect you, and or if you're in a narrow harbor, you fly the boat like a drone, you can say. So when you connect on the joystick panel, you push the assisted docking button, the boat sits at that spot where you push the button. They would stay there with a small margin, like 30-40 centimeters.
But this has been more or less existing before with the dynamic positioning system, but not that precise.
The preciseness was quite okay, but they have added completed a dimension to this now. They have now, of course, connected with a dual GPS antenna, but now you can also maneuver the boat. You can give the boat commando to do what you want without putting a stressful. One click with the joystick in forward, it takes you 30 centimeters straight forward, like on track. The computers, the GPS tells the boat exactly what needs to be done to compensate for the waves, for the wind, for the current, etc., etc.
Which is needed also to have a proportional boat thruster, which is standard if you order this assistant docking.
Absolutely.
Proportional boat thruster means the thruster is not always going full gas, full gas.
No, exactly.
It's like proportion means like it's accelerating like a diesel engine or a petrol engine or whatever.
It can go 10% of the power. Not only can you go forward, you can continue to do up to 3 clicks 1, 2, 3, move yourself nearly a meter in front direction, or you can see this as a throttle and go slowly, slowly, slowly forward. But the difference is that every computer, GPS, keeps control, keeping the boat on the right track. You can do this maneuver backwards, you can do it on the sides.
So you always name it like you're driving in corridors.
You're driving in corridors, yes.
So you're not like normally if you use a joystick on a, doesn't matter, Volvo Penta or Mercury system, as soon if you like you still have to calculate the wind and the current, everything into your maneuver. Let's say the wind comes from there, the current comes from there, and you use the joystick in that direction, then you really need to understand that every movement you do, because the boat is anyway already moving in that direction.
Exactly.
So if you then speed that up, then you also have to stop it again and do probably a heavy movement against it. And then where do you do that movement? Again, wind from there, current from here. So how do you stop that the boat not suddenly does this or comes in a strange angle to the pier? So this is quite much calculation in the head. And this is the assistant docking is doing for you, because in fact, if you stop using the joystick, the boat stays immediately at this point. It doesn't matter which heading and which current, in this heading and also in this direction and at this position.
Yeah, exactly.
So all this influence of wind and current is eliminated, as it is with a drone. Like if you fly a drone without the home point, I don't know if you guys who have done that, but if you're if you really want to film something fast and you bring the drone up and the home point is not there, and then it's like the drone is, for me, nearly not flyable, because it's like going around the wind and everything is catching it, and even if you fly somewhere, it doesn't stop, it just hovers away. And that's in fact the same with a boat is doing.
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
So, and then what it gives you very much is also time. I think this is what everybody stresses on a boat, is not this possibility to think about the next step you do. If it's putting fenders out, if it's putting a mooring somewhere, a rope somewhere to prepare. So it really takes some stress out of the use of this maneuver action, which everybody is stressed of. Like, let's say we are probably less stressed than some customers, but in the end, when we're on our own and it's a very difficult situation, then it can also cause stress to us. So it's very, very human.
For sure. And it's actually many boat buyers today out there who is still insecure when it comes to maneuver bigger boats, and they find themselves very stressed in different situations. It often they get irritated, but for no reason. This takes away everything like this. And
also with the diesel engines, which I think is always underestimated, is the fuel consumption.
Yeah, it is.
Because I got also used now to the petrol fuel consumption, which is, I would say, we're having here, depending on the load, if the load is going higher on the boat, more people, then the fuel difference is even more.
Even more, yeah.
Because the torque of the diesel engine is so strong that they can cover much easier more load.
Exactly, yeah.
But I would always talk about 30 to 40% better fuel efficiency than with the petrol engines.
Exactly.
Which means not only less money, because the diesel engine is also costing a little more, but it means a much bigger range.
Bigger range, for sure. And it also, they run at a very, very much lower RPM, which makes the diesel humming sound very,
very nice.
Very nice, yes.
And they also, at heavier sea, they just push it through. So at a bigger sea, it's really a big difference. Going up if you have big rollers, going up the hill, going down with a diesel engine, is just going through. So the driving quality is, and then you have dual prop propellers.
Yeah,
so we have massive. In fact, we have 4 propellers in the sum for the 2 engines, which also gives loads of grip and power and pressure into the water. In general, like this boat, maybe just show the bathing platform shortly, because that's the big difference. The rest of the boat is a copy of a normal T11.
Exactly.
The big difference is that we have here in the back this much bigger bathing platform. For these ones who don't want to have this obstacle of an engine here, we also put this diver body here to showcase that. So you really have a huge area here in the back where you can place a sea rope, or when you go swimming. So it's really this is called, I would say this respects the name a bathing platform.
Exactly.
As with the
exactly.
outboards, it's more like a bathing leather fixing
Yeah.
fixing platform. No, it's a big difference.
It is.
And this is always there when you have an inboard engine.
Absolutely. I mean, the outboard engines are so nicely designed today, but still it's a massive engine which you put away here underneath. So in my opinion, it makes the boat quite
Shall we
beautiful.
just have a look in the engine room? I think we can do that because maybe the phone we should take away there. And we can just, because this is maybe interesting.
We can do.
So it's four cylinders, 4 liter, common rail engines.
D4 320 is the name on them.
Massive blocks, very powerful.
Very powerful, easy.
Top speed is like about 10 knots slower than with a comparable petrol engine, like from horsepower point of view. But
no,
not
you do 40 knots with this
Yes.
package, and if you take between 300 outboard and
then the 45, 42,
44,
sorry.
yeah.
So 3-4 knots less.
Yeah.
And but again, much different sound level and much less fuel consumption. So the range goes up then on this boat easily on around 250 nautical miles, as we are with the petrol engine, especially with the V10 when we are very loaded.
Yeah.
We are edging the 200 even a little bit below.
Correct. Lower that down again. I think one interesting aspect with this, that you get the possibility with the glass cockpit system to use the bird eye view system with a camera system, 360 degrees camera system, where it gives you really full control over the boat. You haven't
Similar to a car.
Yeah, exactly. You have like an artificial bumper list around, which you can set for half a meter, and then from above you see exactly if you are aligned to the mooring place or not, how far back you have to the obstacles or the mooring spots there. So, and that is give you even super good positioning of the boat when what to do next with the assisted docking. Just given small micro commandos.
Cool. Maybe we should just have one look how a boat like this looks underwater, because we have done so many videos of outboards. So maybe there's even viewers who have not have seen a Z-Drive for a long time. Massive units. We also have on the boat the Humphrey system installed, which is with the automatic system really supporting also very little movement in the boat, so it's anti-rolling. So this is called interceptors, including the underwater lights. And then we have this massive DPI Z-Drive, as we talked before about. We're having 4 propellers, like 2 propellers each, and they're called dual prop. As probably everybody knows, are just maybe some not. So it's counter-rotating propellers. The idea is like on the torpedo, if a torpedo would just have 1 propeller, it would just spin itself. That's why a torpedo always had like the 2 propellers, and that helps the boat go much more straight and get the power more efficient in the water, and don't have this, in German, I don't know the German name, it's Rad-effect. So I don't know, the spinning effect, or how you call it in English, I don't know, Rad-effect.
don't know.
You probably in Swedish it's very similar name.
Yes.
So you don't have the Rad-effect, and that makes the whole engine unit much more efficient. And again, no Rad effect with it.
Basically, we call it propeller effect.
Propeller effect, yeah. Okay.
And also mention one thing with this: these are hydraulic units today, so you can really,
very important. Yes.
you can really push the hydraulic system and activate that half what you call
Throttle,
it, half push. So you can go very slowly with this in a throttle
into
mode.
gearing.
Into gearing, yes.
So what you just described, so this is the gearbox of this Z-Drive, and this has been the last 40 years a manual gearbox.
Yeah.
And since this DPI, which had in the result always when you gear it in this clong, clong,
Yeah.
clong, and especially when you then use a joystick system, it was felt quite uncomfortable because you're thinking you're braking something, which was not the case because it was just the clutch going in and it had to be hard to be good.
Correct.
But here we have now an hydraulic gearbox, similar we had since a long time with the inboard engines, like with the Z drive, with the shaft drive, and this is now very soft gearing. And as you said, you can even give this clutch a little bit of spin or less pressure.
Yeah, less pressure.
So it's like
slips.
Slips. That's the right name. Slips to have even less power on the engines when they're gearing.
Correct.
Cool. There we see the video from Croatia.
And this is authentic pictures. Everything when you look at how they maneuver the boat in those waves close to the mountain here right now, and you will see that they are so close. She can really, the climber. Kajsa-Britta could really step off the boat's bathing platform onto the mountain. And look how the movement of the boat is. This system is exact, very precise. And here you see them maneuvering with this. Look at this. This is how it is.
Cool.
Very
Good.
cool.
Jonas, thank you again.
Thank you.
Taking the time.
I
Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen hier auf der Nimbus T11, wenn wir keine Fragen haben. Und ja, mal sehen, was wir direkt. Der Michael, nochmal danke. Der Michael fährt heute Abend nach Hause, die Familie wartet. Ich möchte dir wieder mal herzlich dafür danken, wie du, können wir einmal hier in die Kamera zeigen. Ja. Hinter den ganzen Videos, die hat alle er geschnitten, während der Messe bis abends, morgens dabei, viel Energie da reingesteckt. Michael kenne ich seit der Schulzeit und ich bin ihm zutiefst dankbar, was er hier während der Messe leistet. Vielen, vielen Dank, Michael.
Vielen Dank, Michael. Vielen Dank. Und auch Sören. Vielen Dank.
Ja, danke dir, Sören. Okay, super.
Super.
Danke.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.